Guess who's back? Back again. Guess who's back? Tell a friend, I think is how it goes. Anyway, yeah, I'd like to talk a little more on that. I think I said polygamy, bigamy, whatever, um, male or female, Uh, multiple partners is what they're going to be pushing more and more. And I'm personally not into normalizing anything that's really perverse or weird or unnatural. And I'm not one of these that's going to say, go ahead and do whatever you want on God's green earth for his children, made for his children, overrun by demons. And I'm not going to sit here and say it's okay. There's several different churches, and there's God speaks to the seven churches in the scriptures. There's a reason why he separates those churches into different groups based on their behavior. Doesn't mean that he loves anybody any less, but respect when we're dealing with other human beings is a huge thing. And I guess it depends on who you want your respect from, on how you go about your life and what you do and what you say and how it affects others or might, you know. So if I get cut off, I love y'all and it's my goofy phone and I can't do nothing about it right now. Or I guess it's enough. But anyway, I'll sit and talk to you for a while. But my issue is with the people that do not want to follow the word of God or what is natural in the most tender heart, the Christ Spirit leading us, that we know for a fact we either want to follow the laws of God, what He commands us, and try and overcome the seven deadly sins, which nobody even hardly ever. I've got videos talking about it, and people are like, oh, yeah, well, whatever, you know, I'm greedy, so what, but it's a pretty big deal, you know, when people are just going to overlook the word of God to keep peace in the world or within your own circle. You're not going to step up and stand up and speak up for God in the strongest ways possible. Like those gays against groomers, I couldn't have more respect for another human being. If I knew that video I shared, um, that gay man speaking out, that would be my best friend if I lived by that person, because that's the honesty I'm looking for and the help for the children out in this world. That's the type of thing we need more of. People, no matter what you or I have done in our lives, what are we going to do for the children from here on out today, going onward, you know? And it is a huge deal. And once again, if they don't like the church that has God's commandments in it and want to change the commandments, like they did in the Catholic Church and whatnot, just to get the money from the people and to appease the people, and the several times through the generations that this group of people have destroyed doctrine from other societies, wiping out their history like they're trying to do in Syria today. American and Finland and Sweden were all like, oh, well, we'll help Turkey. Oh, the poor Turkish people. Yes, it's terrible. Syria's right across the border. suffered the same things. Nobody cares. And I'm telling you why. I am going to share a video of some pre-Islamic Arabic beliefs and some scriptures, doctrines that were taken out. No matter what anybody believes, that isn't the issue, but it's good to look at another culture's mythology and what they saw as their truths in their lives. And then ask yourself why groups all around the world are trying to take out this certain segment of people. Because what I'm telling you is true. Um, but I'm going to share something called, oh, I got to go back and get what it's called. I'm sorry, but I will. Because I think it's good it's not very long. It's maybe 15 minutes or something. Just a second here. Yeah, 15 minutes, 49 seconds. The angelic daughters that were removed from doctrine. And people say, well, angels were sexless and you're going to be sexless when you leave here. Oh, yeah? That's how angelic beings came down and raped women because they didn't have nothing going on down there? Yeah, whatever. Big whatever on all that. You know, it's called common sense once again. You know, and if we know we have blood within us that is not feeling good and it's not from who we are, then we pretty much know what happened there. You know, and if it were against that woman to go away from her husband, then obviously she was taken. And that's another tradition that's in a lot of weddings, is where the bride or the groom will be taken. They'll take the bride and try and make it so she can't get to her wedding. And it's traditional. How sick is that? You know? Or you have to go out and celebrate your last free day. Well, then go be free forever. What's your problem? It's just like these people. They don't want to be in God's church, but they want to use God's name. Make your own damn church. You don't want to abide by God's laws, your own father's rules in his own house. So get the hell out of his church. Hell, on earth, do your own thing, right? As you're doing in front of the children. Oh, it's no big deal. It's who cares? I care. Because the children that I love are being affected right now. That's why. Like I said, if they don't want to be in a traditional marriage that God gave us, that sanctity, why don't you just call it a union? Why do you freaks have to call what is not a natural creation? Why are you pushing that it's supposed to be accepted and anybody is insane if we don't accept it? And I'm gonna venture to say, and I'm gonna put it right here, put it out right here. These are nasty, unhealthy looking people that make me want to regurgitate, and I am not kidding. I'm not just talking about like same sex partners that leave kids out of stuff. I'm talking about these people that say, who cares, on the big scope of what the world was created for and who we are and our inheritance on this planet. I care. If you disagree with that, that's up to you. If you're not hurting children, and then anything I'm saying shouldn't offend you at all. If you don't want to be in a marriage, what a marriage is, then why insist on calling it a marriage if it's just a union? You know? It's like if I had a friend and they said, well, now we're married because we think the same way. No, you're still just my friend. We didn't just become married because you want to make up some new law, you know? Or if you're married forever and you go and think somewhere else, you know? Whatever, you know? Then make your own damn laws and get out of the house of God. Who cares, right? Those are the 7 different churches. And yeah, there's a church of Satan too. No, it is not holy. God's people were tricked by the biggest trickster, and we're just trying to undo all the chaos. And the handfuls of people around pushing the chaos are being aided and abetted by the ones that could care less about what happens to the future of the children or any other man or woman on this planet. If you're not standing up for the traditional marriage just because you don't want one for yourself, who does that make you as a person? If you have to say you're a woman when you're not, why? Why? There's only one thing you could possibly get out of that, and that's twisting the minds of men in the future. That's the only thing going on with that. It's satanic. Is there anything about all of this that seems peaceful and truly loving, nurturing, strengthening to our communities? I don't think so. That's my point, and I hope I have at least one person that agrees, even though I can't make it work myself to ever have that family that I wanted. Doesn't mean I'm going to give up speaking up for those that do. Here's to all you married couples. God bless you forever. And another heartbreaking thing that I don't believe is true, and I think was thrown in there just as an additive, that you don't go back as man and wife before the Father. I don't believe that. You were united. It says, till death do you part. You died the moment you entered this world. You started dying. You're only going to live later. And there are eternal bodies. So, um, what you believe is what you believe, but passing on false information, that's not cool. I know I'm an angel. I'm a female. God made me. God made me a female and only a female forever. And I'm cool with that. If you're not cool with that and you believe different, my God is not your God. And it's not the two separate species living on this planet in harmony No, it is not. It's the spirit within us that we carry from our Creator. We are not worshiping the creation ever. That's not happening. You may have a ruler over you that you admire, but that is not God the Father. And that distinction will be made. In the Trinity, the shame that has been dumped, just taking the woman out of the picture completely. You people that did that, their souls, I hope they're frying for that shit because they've hurt a lot of people, a lot of marriages and families with their retarded rhetoric, their nonsense, their illogical bullshit. I heard in what was it, a 85-year-old pope stepped down because he couldn't handle it anymore. Gee, I wonder why. Must be hard to live for that long with your damn lies. And the child abuse and all the rest of the stuff to go along with it. That's got to be a son of a bitch to have to go along with all that and pretend that's cool in this world. Yeah, so I'm not going to look around me and pretend that everything's cool or, I'm not out to harm anybody. I'm out to say, change some of the legislative viewpoints on what is what. I want people to have their unions and be able to work together and do whatever they want in their lives and in their bedrooms. I don't care. I want people to leave the children alone. I want it to be off the television and I want it to be out of the church. Period. And in my church, that shit doesn't go on. That's my church. I don't know what church you belong to. Am I the only one? Starting to think perhaps that's the case. you know, I've never changed. I knew what was right and wrong when I was a little kid. In my mind, for me, if people want to share in life so freely with each other, maybe these 10 and 15-minute cities are cool for them. Really, in all reality. And maybe that's the place where it wouldn't be a good idea to have any children involved. Maybe that is a good idea for them to have their abortion clinics where they can do their ritual sacrifices, what they actually do. When you have a woman saying that she's praising Satan and then taking a pill that's going to murder her child, doing that on TV in front of everybody, it's pretty serious times, I would say. Can you imagine a woman like she's at home and she's like breastfeeding her little tiny, tiny tot, just caring for that little pretty baby. And then some satanic freak comes on and she sees something like that while she's trying to nurse her child. It's like, wow. Not that she'd probably be watching that type of shit anyway if I happen against it or. upon it. If it happens, then that's on me because I turned that on. But it does give a talking point to my feelings about the world and the way it is right now. And then I was really thrilled to death because this woman did not do her job and I could not stand her because of her far left ideals. I mean, when you are married to your brother in another country and then you both come over here and you had a divorce and changed your name and remarry your brother in my state, yeah, I want you gone. And you want to come and try and tell me I can't raise a chicken, you know? I was thrilled to death. Elia Amin um, is gone. Thank God. Another one bites the dust. One down, just a gazillion to go. But yeah, that's a fact. Because I really don't believe that anything was incestuous. I do believe that um, Satan raped his own sister or mother or something like that, and bastards were created. And then two of them got together and made it worse, or something happened along the line that is not normal, that God would not create. I don't believe it. Like I always said, He can make clothes. He didn't just make people and say, there you go, freeze to death and run around naked. Who wants to sit on a rock without a dress on or something? No, uh-uh. Never happened. Fig leaves my butt. Oh, that'd feel real nice. All these depictions of what happened, you know, when all the stories of the Bible were passed on by word of mouth by the people that do live closer to Syria than they do Jerusalem or anywhere else. That's where the tribes went. That's where the language and the teachings went. Not just into Islamic, although a lot of it's in there, but that's why I believe in more omniism, where God, a little bit of the truth is in every religion, like that, you and most of them believe in a Trinity type of situation, also, you know. But I still know there's things such as in vitro fertilization, and I would lean more on the scope of that being what happened. Like, say, if I had my eggs frozen in some container and Satan wanted to go and try and recreate another me so he could control that entity, or make offsprings with it to try and control a part of God. Like, if he could recreate, like, Christ and try and control Christ, um, even maybe potentially being similar like twins. Maybe there was two girl twins, two boy twins, and two of them weren't supposed to procreate and they did, or it was supposed to be in vitro where it wasn't supposed to be, and they did some mad scientific things. But um I do believe, and I really do believe that Satan was of the misconception that everything we are, like stardust or that plant or that bug or whatever, is all a part of us. I think that's a misconception. I think that's untrue, inaccurate, and how diseases were introduced into our society by them playing scientists trying to. It's just like with computers and sound right now. I was thinking how they could go about trying to recreate every frequency and every vocalization to try and create the spoken word of God to create with sound and voice is what I think they're actually trying to do. I don't think it will work, but I would say if I were God and they did that to me, that'd probably piss me off. That'd probably be when you're going to hear the trumpet blow. Although I think I already did about 5 years back. I mean, the sky, it sounded like it was up in Canada, right up above me, but the sky was screeching. It sounded like if somebody had a giant cutting wheel or cutting saw on metal, like they were like cutting open a metal sky, is what it sounded like, and wrenching of steel that was such a big sound. I can't hardly describe it. It would just kind of moan. It would be so deep, and it was crazy. Talk about crazy right now in southern Minnesota. There's a F-16, I think they said. Um, there's another balloon in southern Minnesota, southwest Minnesota right now. Or it was just a little while ago being tracked by a F-16. It's crazy. And I know that high up they can see my place. Be able to see several states, I'm sure, with their technology. Whatever the heck they're doing, God knows, right? I hope there's just one person out there that feels like I do about marriage. I think people are afraid to be together forever. I think that concept isn't to a lot of people's liking. And that would be okay with me. That wouldn't be the kind of community I would want to be around anyway, you know. So why can't we agree just to disagree? It's like that song, There's Only You and Me, and we just disagree. Dave Mason, you know. But why do they have to push what isn't normal for one society? Why do they have to push their abnormalities on that other society? I'm not trying to make you, if you're gay, I'm not trying to make you marry the other gender. I'm not trying to make you have children or call anything a marriage. I'm not trying to make you that. You're trying to make yourself me. And that's what pisses me off. And other married couples. Like I said, even though my marriage is not shit, it doesn't mean anything to Doug. So, um, and a lot of people are like that. Very shallow, you know. Still means the world to me. And when I enter that marriage, it's a forever thing. You know, I'm not talking just this situation right now is a know nothing thing, but God knows my heart. I honestly think I was married a long, long time ago, and that was the real thing. And I'm just here to try and tell everybody what it's really supposed to be because we need that in our times. So, well, I'm going to let you go. Peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA.